What if dinosaurs built tanks? 66 million years ago, in the last days of the Cretaceous period, one creature came closer than anything else on Earth. It was a walking fortress, covered in bony plates, armed with a sledgehammer for a tail, and built to survive in a world dominated by predators like Tyrannosaurus rex. This is the story of Ankylosaurus Magniventris, the armoured giant that turned evolution into engineering. To understand Ankylosaurus, we need to go back nearly 100 million years. It belongs to a wider group of dinosaurs called the Ankylosauria, a family of heavily armoured plant-eating dinosaurs that first appeared in the early Jurassic. Over time they split into two main branches, the Nodosaurids, which lacked tail clubs and had long shoulder spikes, and the Ankylosaurids, which evolved shorter snouts, heavier armour, and that signature tail weapon. By the late Cretaceous period, the Ankylosaurids ruled the northern continents. They weren't fast, but they didn't need to be. Their entire survival strategy was built on being too dangerous and pesky to attack. Among them, one species stood out as the ultimate expression of this design: Ankylosaurus Magniventris. Ankylosaurus Magniventris was first described in 1908 by the legendary paleontologist Barnum Brown, the same man who discovered Tyrannosaurus rex. Its fossils were found in the Hell Creek Formation of Montana and Alberta, one of the richest late Cretaceous ecosystems on Earth. And what a discovery it was. Ankylosaurus was the largest of all armoured dinosaurs, stretching over 8 meters long and weighing up to 8 tons. That's roughly the weight of an African elephant, wrapped in armour plating thicker than bone. Its name means fused lizard, a reference to how its vertebrae, ribs and even skull bones were locked together for extra strength. It wasn't just armour for show, it was structural reinforcement. The secret to Ankylosaurus' defence lay in its skin. Embedded in its hide were hundreds of osteoderms, bony plates of different shapes and sizes that acted like natural body armour. They weren't just scales, they were bone covered in keratin, which is the same material that makes up horns and claws. Across the back and flanks, they formed a mosaic of interlocking plates, while smaller nodules protected the limbs and tail. Even the eyelids were reinforced with bone. And then there was the tail. At the end of its tail sat a massive club of fused vertebrae and ossified tendons, a weapon capable of breaking bone. Biomechanical studies suggest that a single swing could generate enough force to shatter the leg of a predator the size of Tyrannosaurus rex. This wasn't defense alone, it was deterrence. If T.Rex tried its luck, it risked losing the fight in a single strike, and with a predator the size of T.Rex, losing a leg means probably losing your life. Despite its armour, Ankylosaurus likely wasn't very aggressive. It was a herbivore feeding low to the ground on ferns, cycads and tough vegetation. Its wide downward-facing muzzle was built like a natural lawnmower, perfect for sweeping through ground plants. Inside, leaf-shaped teeth shredded rather than sliced, efficient for chewing fibrous material, not delicate leaves. It lived during the very end of the Cretaceous period, sharing its habitat with Triceratops, Edmontosaurus and, of course, as previously mentioned, Tyrannosaurus rex. While other herbivores relied on speed or horns, Ankylosaurus relied on its design, low, broad and nearly indestructible. It likely lived in small groups, moving slowly through river valleys and floodplains, its heavy tail swaying behind it like a wrecking ball. Ankylosaurus wasn't alone. Across North America and Asia, other Ankylosaurids thrived, each a regional variant of the same evolutionary design. Euoplocephalus tutus from Alberta was smaller but more complete in the fossil record, and for years was confused with Ankylosaurus itself. Anodontosaurus had a distinctive double-knobbed tail club, and Zool crurivestata, discovered in Montana in 2017, stunned scientists with its almost perfectly preserved tail and armour. Its name literally means Zool, destroyer of shins, always nice when paleontology has a sense of humour. Together, these relatives show just how successful the Ankylosaurids were. For tens of millions of years they evolved side by side with the great predators of their age, and they survived almost until the very end. When the asteroid struck at the end of the Cretaceous period, it wasn't just the giants that vanished, it was entire ecosystems that went with them. Ankylosaurus, like Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus, was one of the last non-avian dinosaurs alive when it hit. But its legacy lives on. Nature still builds armoured survivors, like armadillos, pangolins and tortoises, all following the same ancient rule: if you can't outrun danger, outlast it. Ankylosaurus Magniventris was evolution's ultimate defence strategy, a creature that turned survival into an art form. For millions of years it stood unchallenged, a living tank in a world of teeth and claw. Proof that even in an age of apex predators, defence could be every bit as powerful as an attack. Thanks for watching Prehistoric Fact Files. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, subscribe for more prehistoric stories, and tell me in the comments which dinosaur or prehistoric creature would you like me to explore next. But until then, stay curious.